I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial.
And I'm Elena Noland. I'm the collections manager here at the Battleship.
So, you might have had family who served in the military, and you've got their effects, or you might have acquired some objects at an auction or bought them somewhere. You might have some old books about World War II history, and you are looking to downsize, and you think that a museum might be a great place to donate your objects. So today's video is about the donation process, what we expect from potential donors as a museum, and what you as a potential donor should expect from the museum. This is especially true for us. This is our specific process, but a lot of what we're talking about here is true for other historic ship museums and regular museums in general. So if you find something that's not related to this ship and you're thinking about donating it somewhere else, it's still a decent video to watch. So
I'm the one that generally does most of the donation process. Most of the time we have people that email us, or sometimes they call and say that they have something related to the ship. If they have something related to the ship, that's a step in the right direction. We will then most likely ask you to take photographs of what you have so that we can determine that it is actually related to our ship and that it's in good enough physical condition that it could be of use. So we do actually have a 60-page, something like that, 30-plus page collections management policy that does outline what we do take. We cannot guarantee that we will take every donation or even the entirety of a donation. But once we have photos, especially for people that are far away and can't come to us directly, we will review the photographs, and if it is something that we think we can use, we will email the potential donor, a deed of gift, which they need to fill out with their personal information and sign it. The deed of gift basically states that you are transferring ownership and copyright of the object to us. That way we can actually use it in exhibits. Otherwise, we don't hold the intellectual property for these things, so we can't display them or use them in programming or anything. And then that will be mailed in with the objects. Once we receive those, one of us will reach out to the donor and say, "We got your stuff." I will fill out the rest of that deed of gift with the object name and the an object number that it's been given, and then I will sign it, send a copy back to the donor. That way, if you're using it for tax write-off purposes or anything like that, you have that for your files. We keep a copy also, of course, for our records. That way there is no question about the ownership of it. And then it gets put into our Past Perfect system, which is our database for our objects and documents and books, and will most likely be put into storage for at least a short period of time.
So let me just add, make sure you contact us before making a donation so that we can guarantee it fits with our collections management plan and it's something that we can actually take here. Do not just show up with an object and try to leave it with someone at the gate. You aren't going to be allowed to leave it with any other staff member. They're going to have to contact a member of the curatorial department to come and handle this. So make sure you let us know ahead of time you're coming. If you have weapons, ordnance, stuff like that, oh boy, that's a whole different conversation we need to have. Demilitarized stuff without a firing pin or dummy shells, like I'm not sure if you can see it in frame. The BL&P round over here, which is a sand-filled round, is not an explosive-filled round. Stuff like that, we're pretty good. An empty shell casing like this brass one, we can work with that. Live ammunition, chances are good we won't be able to take it, and we will definitely have to. It'll extend the process. We'll have to go through additional hoops if that is something that you want to give the museum is willing to acquire it. So, digital photography, like scans of your pictures, we likely are not going to accession that into the collection. You are still the owner of the object, and for copyright purposes, that means it's difficult for us to use. Give us a digital picture, we'll take it. It's often good for research stuff. We will give you credit for it. We probably won't use it in any of our displays or any publicized source.
It gets a little bit tricky with things like photos that are on discs and whatnot. I've had several donations recently that are just photos on a jump drive, but those are the originals. So those we do accession because we can then print them off or put them up on a screen, and those are the actual ones. There is no physical copy of them.
Yeah, I think at this point it's a good time to say there are exceptions to every rule we've given here. Reach out to us. We're more than happy to work with you on that. Reach out to us in the description below. We're more than happy to work with you on this, and maybe your object defies some of the traditional conventions, and we can talk about it. Just keep in mind that it might be an issue that comes up. Do you want to talk about loans versus donations?
Yes, but can I say one more thing that will make it a little bit more likely that a collection will go out on display is if it is a more well-rounded collection that we can actually use to tell a story. So if you just give us a uniform, it tells us what someone's rate was. So we could talk about where they worked. But if you have their uniform and letters that they mailed home, or if they kept some of the Jerseyman newsletters, you can tell what they thought was important by what they keep or what they sent home. Any other their equipment that they kept. Just makes it more compelling. A more compelling story, easier for us to set up exhibits around. We do love to highlight our crew members, so that is super helpful. Really enjoy that.
Think about what you find compelling when you go to a museum. If we had a Navy issue cup sitting out, that's okay, I guess. But if we have Captain so-and-so's mug sitting out along with some of his other objects, now that's a compelling story. By that same token, we aren't necessarily going to create a shrine to the person who donates the objects. We will absolutely give credit to the individual if we know who they are. And please, when you're donating stuff, give us absolutely as much information as you can about them, their service, where they were, what division they were in on the ship, where they work, and any specific stories that they remember. All of this is great, and the more information you give us, the more likely it is that your stuff will find its way out on display.
Loans we don't keep forever. They still belong to the owners. We have a policy that we do not accept loans from individual people. We also do not, it is in our policy that we do not take donations that have strings attached, for lack of a better term. We cannot guarantee that things will go on display. We do have limited space to display things. We do have a 5-year plan, guys. The exhibits are going to change. So that is an opportunity to get more things out. We can't guarantee that it'll be your thing. Or, if somebody makes a donation and says, oh, but we may want this back at a later date, well, I'm sorry, that's a loan. And we tend not to do those. So. All right, so we want to also take this opportunity to do a call for donations, actually. So June of this year is the 70th anniversary of the beginning of the Korean War. New Jersey arrived in Korea in May of 1951. So part of my 5-year plan of exhibits is to spotlight the Korean conflict. And it is the most underrepresented commissioning as far as objects and documents in our collection, even though it was our second longest commissioning. Please take this information that we have given you, and please reach out if you or have your family members or yourselves, your objects from serving on the ship during Korea.
Thanks for watching today.
We'll have a link in the description box down below if you do want more information about donating things.
Feel free to leave your questions in the comments or reach out to one of us directly. We're more than happy to work with you. Like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. And if you like the content we produced today, the more museum side as opposed to history of the ship stuff, let us know in the comments down below. We might be able to make more stuff like this in the future. Thanks for watching.